Communication in business contexts. CBC1501 Assessment 2 2024. Written assignment. Unique number 744185. Total marks 100. Weighting formative 60. To study all learning units, LUs 1 to 11, and all instructional materials and resources on MyUnisa. This assessment can be submitted only once. No resubmissions will be accepted. Ensure that the assessment that you submit is the final and complete copy. This assessment is compulsory. Include the signed declaration with this assessment to avoid penalization. Late submissions are not allowed. Mark allocation for Assessment 2, Written Assignment. Mark allocation for Assessment 2, Written Assignment. Task. Description. Marks. Question 1. Google Docs in the Google Drive folder. 5. Question 2. Essay. 30. Question 3. Abridged report. 25. Question 4. Business letter. 25. Self-assessment and self-reflection. Answers to questions posed. 5. Overall technical presentation. Declaration. Table of contents. Overall. Introduction and overall conclusion. 10. Total. 100. Assessment format. The assessment consists of 4 questions, namely: I. The Google document in the Google Drive folder. 2. The essay. 3. The abridged report, and 4. The business letters. Your assessment must be typed out. See general rules relating to the overall presentation of the assignment must be adhered to. Your presentation should not contain language, spelling, or typing errors. We discourage the use of personal forms of address in business writing, unless otherwise stated. Headings and numbering, where required, should be presented in the correct format. You must adhere to the correct format, structure, and stylistic requirements of each piece of writing as required by the relevant assignment question. Failure to follow these guidelines will result in the loss of marks. The assignment must contain a personal declaration that the work you have submitted is your own. The Declaration of Academic Integrity is a legally binding document that every university has for its students. The declaration must be included after the cover page of your assignment. The declaration is available on MyUnisa under Additional Resources and is in MS Word format. The declaration has to be signed by yourself and a witness. You will be penalized if you do not submit the declaration, or if it is incomplete or not signed. We accept typed signatures and e-signatures if you do not have access to a scanner. We have provided a copy of the declaration below this text as well. Declaration of Originality. Name and surname. I confirm that this module contains my own original ideas and work. Those ideas or work that are not my own have been cited through the prescribed referencing system, which I have familiarized myself with in tutorial letter CBC1501. I have not submitted the ideas or work contained in this module for any other tertiary education credit. I have not allowed and will not allow anyone to copy my work with the intention of passing it off as his or her own work. I did not make use of another student's work and submitted it as my own. I have read through the entire tutorial letter, TL_2024_CNAL/E301_4_B, on academic writing and am familiar with the guidelines applicable to this module. I am aware of what academic dishonesty entails and have read and understood. UNISA's policies in this regard. Click on the links below to access these documents. UNISA Policy of Research Ethics. Plagiarism PowerPoint for undergraduate studies, available under additional sources on the course site on MyUnisa. UNISA's library guides on plagiarism and ethics. Policy for copyright infringement and plagiarism. UNISA Policy on Academic Integrity. In this module, you're required to add Point 7 to this. Point 7 must be your own positive declaration on the tools that you used in creating this essay. This could include search engines, such as www.google.com, scholarly search engines, such as Scholar, google.com, conversations with people, artificial intelligence tools that you have used to summarize arguments, or any other tool that cannot be referenced as a source for a particular aspect of your essay, but that contributed to your writing process. In brief, give an overview of how you approached the writing of this essay so that the declaration is not merely a statement of what you did not do, but also of what you did do. The correct compilation and sequence of this assessment are: cover page, declaration of own work submitted, table of contents, introduction, body of assignment, answers to the assignment questions, conclusion, answer to the self-assessment and reflection questions, list of sources consulted. 1. Technical presentation. 10. Ensure that this assessment complies with the departmental requirements for the technical presentation of assignments. The Department of Communication Science has specific formatting guidelines to which you need to adhere precisely. Consult Tutorial Letter 301, Canal/301, for extensive guidelines on technical presentation. Read and take cognizance of the section on plagiarism. Additional guidelines specific to this course are provided on MyUnisa. The technical presentation criteria applicable to Assessment 2 are as follows. 1.1 Mark allocation for technical presentation. Mark allocation for technical presentation. Task. Description. Marks. Declaration. The assessment must contain a personal declaration that the work you have submitted is your own. The declaration is available in Tutorial Letter 301, Canal/301, and on MyUnisa under Additional Resources. If you do not submit the declaration, or if it is incomplete or not signed, you will be penalized. 2. Table of Contents. The table of contents must correspond with the numbering, headings, and subheadings in the assignment. Correct page numbers must be supplied. 4. Overall introduction. An introduction to the overall assessment must be included. It should begin with a short description of business communication and should end with a clear reference to what will be discussed in the assignment. This could consist of a short description of the assignment questions, without writing down the actual questions, as well as of the self-assessment and self-reflection questions. The introduction should not be longer than one paragraph and should be written in a formal tone. 2. Overall conclusion. A conclusion to the overall assessment must be included, in which a short summary is given about what has been discussed in the assignment. Do not introduce any new information here, just summarize what has been done. The conclusion should not be longer than one paragraph and should be written in a formal tone. 2. Total. 10. 2. Question 1. Google Drive and Google Docs. 5. You're required to use Google Docs to type out Assessment 2, which is a written assignment. As the student, you're required to create a folder called CBC1501_Assessment2_2024_S1 on Google Drive, and then save the assignment in this folder. You must provide the following 2 links in the assignment submission. The link to the Google Drive folder that you created and saved the assignment, Google Doc format, in. The link to the Google Doc that you used to type out the assignment. Once you have completed the assignment using Google Docs, you must download the document and convert it to PDF. Then submit the PDF document to the Moodle platform. To be awarded the full 5 marks, you must use Google Drive and Google Docs when doing the assignment, and you must provide the links for both the Google Drive folder and the Google Docs file. The lecturers and markers must be able to use the provided links to confirm that Google Docs and Google Drive were indeed used. The lecturers will provide a video lesson, synchronous and/or asynchronous, that provides a step-by-step guide to this requirement. Keep an eye out for the MyUnisa announcements in this regard. 2.1. Mark allocation for Google Drive and Docs. Mark allocation for Question 1. Google Drive and Docs. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Google Drive link. 1.1. The link for the Google Drive folder is provided. 1.2. The link is working. 1.3. The naming convention is correct according to the module requirements. 1.4. The folder is accessible. 2.5. 2. Google Doc link. 2.1. The link for Assessment 2 is provided. 2.2. The link is working. 2.3. The document is accessible. 2.4. The file is correctly saved in the Google Drive folder. 2.5. Total. 5. 3. Main scenario. You must read the following scenario before answering questions 2 to 4. Communication is an important tool that is used by organizations across the world, and it is the glue that holds their daily operations together. This communication is done via writing different documents and employing various other forms of employee communication in the workplace. For example, employees communicate with clients and customers or within the organization by emails and/or memoranda. Communication can be formal and/or informal, verbal and/or nonverbal, digital and/or face-to-face. If the communication is done effectively, everything tends to flow and run smoothly. Poor communication is very easy to miss or ignore and may seem like the least of your priorities as an employee of an organization. These kinds of subtle problems can persist and exacerbate confusion, doubt, and bad feelings within a company. This can lead to the degradation of morale, project delays, and the burning of important bridges between staff members or clients. Therefore, organizations conduct various studies that investigate communication skills and satisfaction among their employees. One of the biggest accounting firms in South Africa, S&G Grant Thornton, decided to conduct a survey in the company to determine employees' perceptions of their communication skills with regard to written communication, face-to-face and digital communication, formal and informal communication, and verbal and nonverbal communication. In other words, the aim was to determine accounting professionals' perceptions of their communication competence. The findings of the survey revealed that most employees tended to think of themselves as above average when it comes to writing skills, while some admitted to having problems with writing. The survey also found that some of the employees had common problems related to written communication, such as writing that lacked clarity and tended to confuse the reader. Moreover, the survey revealed that most employees were not confident with respect to face-to-face communication as they believed that they had a poor self-image. This survey thus indicated the importance of the effect of self-image on workplace relations for accountants and how one's interactions with clients and colleagues influence one's ability to communicate assertively. The survey results also revealed that many employees failed to consider how the receiver would interpret the language used in the communication. Part of the existing literature emphasizes that the communicator must be cautious of the verbal and nonverbal communication she uses, as others can perceive and interpret the message in different ways. In unfortunate cases, it could cause offense that you never intended. Unless you have established a solid working relationship, It is best to refrain from humor or sarcasm until you have a conversation on the phone or face-to-face. Therefore, it is important to ensure that the message is encoded carefully. Communicators should thus be aware of intentional and unintentional messages that they share through verbal and nonverbal communication. Similarly, several studies that focused on writing as communication in the workplace have indicated that failure to communicate properly in the workplace can create various problems that may be difficult to fix. These failures in communication may vary from obvious to subtle and should be handled with the respect they deserve. Written communication is supposed to eliminate doubt and confusion. Confusion is not something you want to leave your readers with. Therefore, it is advisable to avoid presenting a piece of work that has too many details, big paragraphs, and lengthy sentences. Most importantly, a piece of written communication must be an organized and concise piece of work. In addition, studies indicate that most people, ranging from professors to drivers, rate themselves as having above-average overall communication skills, which is not a realistic statistic. Therefore, S&G Grant Thornton has decided to invite Professor Femthu Adiham to facilitate a writing retreat to assist the company's employees with their professional communication skills. Professor Adiham is a renowned writer and communication specialist who travels widely and has a special interest in assertive behavior in the workplace. She is a former dean of the University of Venda, and she also worked at the University of Pretoria and the University of the Free State. She has published many articles focusing on good communication skills in the organization. The writing retreat will take place from 18 to March 25, 2024 at Badplaza Forever Resort in Mpumalanga. The retreat will cover the steps in the writing process, task analysis before the writing process starts, gathering information or research, the planning stage, what needs to be written, writing the body of the work, presenting the final draft, correcting poor grammar, avoiding unnecessary repetition, revising for clarity, presenting the final work, and referencing and double-checking if the references are correctly formatted. 4. Question 2, Essay 30. 2. Study, LUs 1 to 11. Instructions. Read the main scenario provided on page 8, then complete the following task. Prepare the planning stages of an essay where you discuss the effect of self-image on workplace relations for accountants, how one's interaction with clients and colleagues influences one's ability to communicate assertively, the nature of being aggressive, and how aggression can be or should be avoided in the workplace. In this assessment, you need only provide some of the steps required in the planning phase of writing. The full details of what is required of you will be provided later. It is important to attend the classes, or watch the recorded lesson thereof, where we will explain and discuss this aspect in detail. The final product of your essay, which will be submitted in Assessment 3, the examination portfolio, should showcase theory and practical examples within the context of the scenario provided. The essay should include the following: evidence that your writing is planned and presented logically, a definition of the concept of self-image and its impact on communication, evidence of your understanding of any 3 dimensions of self-image and a reference to each of these, evidence of your ability to be assertive and avoid being aggressive. This content outline should guide you when planning your essay for this assessment. A. Presentation requirements. I. An appropriate title. 2. The brainstorming/planning. 3. The introduction, which should include a thesis statement that highlights the different aspects of the topic to be discussed. 4. 5 topic sentences with 5 substantiating points in the body. 1 topic sentence with 1 substantiating statement for each paragraph. This means that you will have 5 paragraphs, each with 1 topic sentence and a reference substantiating statement. Do not write the body of the essay yet. You will write the body of the essay in Assessment 3, where you will expand on the topic sentences highlighted in each paragraph above. You must reference the substantiating statements using the correct in-text referencing styles and provide a list of sources consulted that should be placed at the end of the assignment. Peruse 3 additional resources of your choice, in addition to the study material provided to you. The conclusion. Organize your answer logically and coherently. Remember to present your answer in essay format. Do not write in point form at all. The additional requirements and considerations. Remember to present your answer in an essay format and provide an appropriate title for your essay. Do not write in point form at all. You will also be graded on the correct use of spelling, grammar, punctuation, and writing fluency. 2. Organize your answer logically and coherently using the format appropriate for a short essay. 3. Marks will be deducted should plagiarism be detected. Where large portions of the text have been plagiarized, you will receive 0% for this question and may be subject to disciplinary action. Read and make sure you understand all the information on plagiarism and academic writing in Tutorial Letter 301, Canal/301. Therefore, ensure that the information utilized in your essay is paraphrased and correctly referenced in text and in the list of sources consulted. All sources consulted are cited in the list of sources consulted, including tutorial letters, the study guide, the prescribed book, and additional sources. Sources consulted should be placed at the end of the assignment. The correct referencing techniques are used in the text of the assignment and the list of sources has been consulted. All study material is referenced correctly, as per the departmental requirements outlined in Tutorial Letter 301, Canal/301. Quotations do not exceed 10% of your work. You do not copy and paste material from any sources of information at all. You do not rewrite content from the scenario. You will not receive any marks if you do so. 4.1. Mark allocation for Question 2, Essay. Mark allocation for Question 2, Essay Task Description Marks. 1.1. Title. 2. Format and Layout. Planning, Brainstorming. 3. 2.1. Articulation, Tense, Fluency, Sentence. Grammar and Structure, Formal Tone, Logical Flow, and 3.5. Language Paragraph Structure. Spelling and Punctuation 1.5. 3.1. Introduction, including thesis statement and content 2.5. Overview of content. Topic sentences 5. Substantiating statements 5. In-text referencing and list of sources 5. Consulted. Conclusion, summary of main points. 2.5. Rounding off of arguments. Penalization, if any, format, layout and structure. Referencing, plagiarism and paraphrasing. Total 30. 5. Question 3. Abridged report. 25. 2. Study. LUs 1 to 11. Instructions. Read the main scenario provided on page 8, then complete the following task. Professor Femfu Adiham has been invited to a prestigious event in New York City to showcase her experience as a prolific writer and communications specialist during her travels and to present her radio diary. However, she arrives at the venue at the time stipulated in the invitation, only to find that the hall is locked and many prominent guests are anxiously waiting outside. The lighting is rather dim in the passageway, and the guests are becoming agitated and start complaining amongst one another. A few annoyed guests decide to leave, and they drive away angrily. The event organizer arrives 15 minutes later, apologizes to the guests, and hastily opens the doors. He then politely invites the guests inside. When Professor Adiham enters the venue, she is awestruck as the venue is huge, spacious, well-lit, and beautifully decorated. Her presentation appears on large screens positioned strategically across the hall. Guests are also treated to a wonderful reception area with refreshments and finger snacks. The atmosphere is very relaxed, and the guests mingle cheerfully. The event organizer, however, notices that approximately a third of his guests are not present and mentions this to Professor Adiham, who had planned to publicize her radio diary at this event. Professor Adiham is extremely perturbed by this turn of events, as many likely sponsors and strategic partners have already left, and she will not be able to fulfill her mandate as a result. A. Additional requirements and considerations. You need to write and present a formal report outlining the challenges and successes of the event as described in the text above. In your report, you need to provide an appropriate title for this report. 2. Give a short, relevant introduction to this formal report. 3. Supply 3 findings, 3 conclusions, and 3 recommendations only. 4. Format your answers appropriately. Maintain a logical link between each of the given findings and each of the conclusions and recommendations that you provide. Write in the third person as far as possible. Apart from following the question instructions and the actual content of your answer, marks will also be awarded for the relevance of your conclusions, findings, and recommendations as they pertain to the scenario. You will also be graded on the appropriate formatting and numbering of the content, as well as the correct use of spelling and grammar in your writing. 5.1. Mark allocation for Question 3. Abridged report. 6. Question 4. Business letter, 25. 2. Study, LUs 1 to 11. Instructions. Read the main scenario provided on page 8 and then complete the following task. One of the biggest accounting firms in South Africa, S&G Grant Thornton, as part of its corporate social responsibility, CSR, aims to promote a more environmentally friendly business environment for accounting firms in South Africa. Their activities involve consultations with organizations on reducing their carbon footprint and going green by planting trees within the business complex. 2. Moving towards the use of renewable energy resources, such as solar power. 3. Recycling plastic, glass, and paper products. 4. Recycling electronic waste such as old computers and other electronic waste products within the organization. Reducing their use of printed materials. Encouraging the adoption of online communication platforms. You, Susie Mandisa, have just been appointed as a public relations officer at S&G Grant Thornton. Write a letter to the company executive of Maori Accounting, Mr. Manos Snyman, wherein you introduce yourself, the organization, and its objectives. Inform Mr. Snyman of the importance of going green by outlining the advantages of adopting an environmentally friendly business environment. 3. Invite Mr. Snyman to an interactive workshop at the S&G Grant Thornton offices in Brooklyn, Pretoria, where he will be provided with a step-by-step guide on how to transform his company into an eco-friendly organization. Use the following addresses. A. Keep the following in mind when answering this question. Apart from following the instructions in the question and ensuring that the actual content of your answer is as per the instructions above, you should note that marks will also be awarded for the correct formatting conventions as applicable to the letter format. You will also be graded on the correct use of spelling, grammar, and punctuation, and writing fluency. Your letter should be approximately 1 to 1.5 pages in length. Take note of the following. Addresses, date, subject line, salutation, complimentary close, signature, and name must be included and used correctly. You must use the UK block format for the addresses. Be polite. Be concise. Be exact: dates, times, names. You can use a personal tone of address in your writing in a limited way. 6.1. Mark allocation for question 4. Business letter. Mark allocation for question 4. Business letter. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Format and layout. 1.1. Addresses, UK block format, date, subject, salutation, complimentary close, sign off. 10. 2. Grammar and language. 2.1. Articulation, tense, fluency, sentence structure, formal tone, logical flow, and paragraph. Structure. 3.5. 2.2. Spelling and punctuation. 1.5. 3. Content. 3.1. 3. 3.2. 3. 3.3. 2. 3.4. Closing. 2. Penalization, if any. Format, layout, and structure. Rewriting the scenario or other sources. Total. 25. 7. Self-assessment and self-reflection questions 5. Answer the following questions in full sentences. What have you learned? What knowledge have you gained by doing this assessment, and what shortcomings have you identified? What skills, abilities, and orientations, attitudes, and values have you acquired by planning the essay in preparation for the final draft to be submitted in the Portfolio of Evidence, POE, Assessment 3? Which strengths could you apply in your future life and work environment concerning the learning outcomes formulated for this module? Refer to each learning outcome in this respect, which can be found under Section 2.2 of Tutorial Letter 101. 7.1. Mark allocation for self-assessment and self-reflection questions. Mark allocation for self-assessment and self-reflection. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Format and layout. Alignment, numbering, heading. 1. 2. Grammar and language. Spelling, articulation, tense, punctuation, fluency, sentence structure, formal tone. 1. 3. Content. Questions 1 to 3. 3. Total. 5.